When Naruto got its anime adaptation, naturally there were several changes the studio decided to do to make the anime format of the series more palatable for audiences than the manga. For instance, the Naruto manga tends to be very bloody. There's a lot of blood, and also even gore a couple of times. This is very much toned down for the anime, and there are also a lot of other small changes done throughout the entire series when adapting it into the anime. However, there is one particular change that whenever people see it for the first time, be it because they started reading the manga or they just saw in one of my videos when I show the image of the manga of this particular thing happening, they get a little bit weirded out, and understandably so. Of course, I am talking about Neji's forehead seal, and you can see right here that it is very different in the manga than in the anime. If you're not used to the manga and you're seeing this for the first time, you're probably wondering what's going on with Neji here. Because you see, this symbol on Neji's forehead in the manga really resembles the symbol of a certain political party that rose to power in Germany in the mid-1930s, led by the most famous Austrian painter of all time, and it ultimately culminated in just a little small event in history. You may have heard of it. The French Revolution. I did not create this joke. All credit goes to redlettermedia.com. But seriously, what's going on with Neji's forehead in the manga? Why does he have that symbol? It seems like a weird choice when you first think about it. Was he like really into Kanye West or something?
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table. Especially
in order for us to understand what's the deal with that, we have to go back in history. And I mean way, way back. Because this symbol was not created by the big bad evil mustache guy, as many people may think. No, it was an ancient religious and cultural symbol that was predominant in various Eurasian cultures, as well as some African and American cultures, and this is way, way back in the day. This symbol appears in Hinduism, in Buddhism, and Jainism, and it can take several different forms, keeping the same principal design. And this symbol would mean different things in those various different religions, but usually it was a very good meaning, such as prosperity, good luck, and even peace. But as we all know, the big bad evil mustache guy was not a very good artist. He was not accepted into art school, which probably was one of the reasons why everything that happened. And he had to come up with a symbol to signify his twisted ideology. As he couldn't come up with something himself because he was a bad artist, he just copied it from an ancient religious symbol and appropriated this very old and iconic piece of imagery from so many religions to a very bad purpose. And now this symbol is known across many places of the world as evil incarnate. The thing is that Neji's symbol there does not represent the ideology of that particular political party in the mid-1930s. It is something much more ancient. As we all know, Kishimoto likes to pull inspiration from many places, many religions, especially Eastern religions, and it's not at all associated with the big bad evil mustache guy. Also, you can clearly see that Neji's forehead mark and the symbol of the big bad evil mustache guy are clearly different. First and foremost, they are mirrored, and I'm not gonna show the big bad evil mustache guy symbol here because they want to get demonetized, but just trust me in that one. Also, Neji's symbol isn't tilted, while the big bad evil mustache guy symbol is tilted, and Neji's symbol has some squiggly lines on the edge of the protrusions, and the big bad evil mustache guy symbol doesn't have that. Now, it's interesting to see why Kishimoto chose that symbol. First, this would not work very well in the West. Even though it's not the symbol of the big bad evil mustache guy, people would still associate it with him. It looks a lot like it, and we are not really used to that type of symbology. We immediately associate that symbol with really bad things. However, in Japan, people actually don't associate that symbol with the big bad evil mustache guy. There's a very interesting video that I've seen a couple of months ago that a guy interviews Japanese people, and he shows the symbol, asking what comes to your mind when you see the symbol, and they say a temple. I think about a temple. And this answer repeats itself time and time again. The interviewer goes to more people and they say, yeah, this reminds me of a temple. And then after the interviewer pushes them a little bit further, they say, oh, also this is, kind of like the symbol of the big bad evil mustache guy back in the day, right? So in Japan, the symbol means the location of a Buddhist temple. It's literally everywhere. It's in Google Maps when you go to Japan, and it's also ingrained in many temples nowadays. Japan didn't really have problems with that particular ideology in the 20th century, unlike, say, Germany, which the symbol is absolutely illegal and banned everywhere in the country. Japan had some other very bad problems too. I'm not saying Japan is innocent, but for the Japanese society, this symbol doesn't remind them of the big bad evil mustache guy. And this is why Kishimoto was able to use it so nonchalantly in a manga that's distributed to people from all ages. I mean, 8-year-old boys read Shonen Jump. It's aimed for 14 to 18-year-old boys mostly, but every single demographic in Japan consumes Shonen Jump and therefore used to read Naruto when it was coming out. The symbol in the West would only be kind of allowed in a story that's R-rated, so you would probably only see that in a much more mature comic or movie or whatnot, and definitely it wouldn't be the symbol of a good guy in the story, and that's because the association is there. There's no way around it. Now, when we go back to the manga and why this symbol is on Neji's forehead, this is the forbidden jutsu of the Hyuga main family. The seal is given to all branch family members in the Hyuga clan by members of the main house. Its main purpose is to seal their Byakugan abilities, and when they die, it prevents the enemy from learning their secrets. The secondary purpose is to control the branch family. You remember when Hiyashi used to mind blast Neji and his father when they didn't obey or anything like that? It was pretty gruesome to watch because they can simply activate the seal and cause immense pain on those who are branded with it. The seal is placed on the forehead of Hyuga branch family members when they are 3 years old, which is pretty brutal if you think about it. And it only goes away when they die. When the Hyuga clan member that's branded with a seal dies, they lose the Byakugan because of the seal, and so the Hyuga family is preserved because nobody can steal their precious little eyes. Unless if you're talking about Ao the Beast, because Ao somehow got a Byakugan, even after all the countermeasures employed by the Hyuga clan. Interesting how they prize their eyes so much, unlike the Uchiha clan who got their eyes stolen by every single schmuck, and the Sharingan is just so much more powerful. You would figure the Uchihas would be more careful about it, but anyways. One of the meanings of this symbol in real life is prosperity, which makes a lot of sense. Those who are branded with the seal ensure the prosperity of the Hyuga clan by not compromising their secrets, which is very interesting. It's a curse that literally says, your clan will prosper here. You are kind of a sacrifice to us. We don't care too much about you. Even though it says that. Prosperous. A brilliant future for the Hyuga clan. The individual will suffer a lot, which is the nature of the curse. It can be activated by the members of the main house of the Hyuga clan, and they are the only ones who know the secrets about it. And it's interesting because this symbol not only creates a divide between the main and the branch family, but you can also differentiate them just by their appearance, because they will usually cover their foreheads with a headband or something else. It's kind of a mark of shame that not many people seem to know about, because when Neji removes his headband during the finals of the Chunin Exams, Naruto is very much surprised, and so are a lot of the people in the crowd. They didn't know Neji had that. But it's not as though this is a secret of the Hyuga clan. No, people know about it. It's just something that's kind of a taboo to talk about. Even within the family itself, Hiyashi didn't really like when Neji was talking about it to the entire crowd of the Chunin Exams arena. This characteristic of the branch family of disguising their seals also contrasts a lot with the main family, whose members always show their foreheads, almost like a mark of pride. I get the feeling it's tradition for the main family to just show off, look, I am not branded, I'm better than you guys, just to kind of impose respect on them. I get the feeling this is something Hiyashi would definitely do, and also Hiyashi's father seems to be the kind of guy that would do that as well. The symbol being the way it is in the manga makes sense for the themes in the story. It's just that for the anime, they thought it would be wise not to use something that would resemble the mark of evil incarnate on this planet for half of the global population. Like, imagine if they hadn't changed that in the anime and you were watching Naruto when you were 11 years old, and then Neji appeared and removed his headband, and then your grandma walks into the room and she sees that Neji has that symbol in his forehead, and then you're gonna say, oh, wait, Grandma, I didn't know he was, you know, a Kanye West fan, I'm sorry. And then she's not gonna let you watch Naruto anymore. It's very simple, really. Unless your grandma's Argentinian, in that case, she'll just reminisce about the good old days. They didn't change Neji's appearance in the manga for international audiences because the manga isn't as widespread as the anime, not by a long shot. I mean, only like 5% of the Naruto fandom has read the manga, if even, and the anime is just so absolutely popular around the entire world that this would be something that could tank their marketing and just bring problems for their bottom line. It just makes sense for them to quote-unquote censor that aspect of the anime. It's even censored in Japan because they thought, yeah, well, let's just not take too many risks here. In the anime, Neji's mark is an X, which makes sense. I mean, it's pretty generic, you could say, but it does the job. You get the message by seeing the X on Neji's forehead, and you don't even question, like, whoa, this is such a weird symbol, what's going on here? No, it makes sense for the story. The problem would be if they just removed it entirely or did something very weird with the symbol, but it doesn't affect the story, you understand it regardless, and it's not as though, oh, I really wanted to see that symbol in the anime. No, it's fine. Unlike other scenes that were slightly altered in the anime where you actually lose some of the context because of the changes they made. For example, there are several attacks that in the manga feel much more impactful and devastating for the target. In the anime, they are toned down because they're considered to be too violent. Naruto tries to be a very PG-13 anime, and because those attacks are so toned down and censored in the anime, sometimes you can get the wrong feeling about the situation of a particular character during a fight. For instance, when Sasuke was fighting against the Raikage and the Raikage decides to punch through the dark flames of Amaterasu with his bare arm, in the anime, it's a cool scene. The Raikage looks like a Chad when he does that, even though it's a little bit dumb. But then Sasuke just kind of falls down. The attack doesn't have a lot of impact, but in the manga, the panel when the Raikage strikes Sasuke with that blow, it looks like the Raikage is going to break Sasuke in two because he is bent, his neck is all twisted. He has this absolutely terrified facial expression. It really sells the impact of that strike. You think, okay, Sasuke is pretty screwed in this moment. In the anime, you were like, okay, he got knocked down, no big deal. There are even some very glaring censorship for Neji's fights. For instance, when Kidomaru pierced him with an arrow and literally opened a hole in Neji's torso, like you could see the other side through Neji's body from how devastating that attack was. And in the anime, that just simply doesn't happen. You know, it's kind of glossed over. Yeah, no, Neji got hit there, but it's not as bad, guys. Sometimes toning the damage of the attacks down, they kind of diminish the impact of the fights and the situations the characters are in. And I'm not trying to say that these scenes that lack blood are bad because they don't have blood, just because I want to be edgy and blood is cool and I want to see a bloody manga/anime. No, it's because the story is affected, and that's the important part of it. When you change the overall feeling of the story during a particular scene, be it because you removed blood or because the attack doesn't have the same impact, you're doing the story a disservice. But the change in Neji's forehead seal doesn't really do that. It doesn't affect the story in the slightest. You get the same message as you would have gotten if the symbol was like in the manga. And this is one of those changes you're just like, yeah, no, I understand why they would change that. Even though Kishimoto wasn't wrong drawing that in the manga, Western audiences, they wouldn't enjoy that very much. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, like this video for more Naruto content just like this one, and watch this other video right here for more cool videos. Thank you so much for watching.